Hello, hello Gemini. Welcome to your mid-2019 overview reading. And this is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Gemini. And this is going to last from July of 2019 to December of 2019. That's what we'll be looking at today. And go ahead, before anything else, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Onyx Healing if you would like more content, and check out the description box for more fun goodies. I'm gonna lay this out and then we will get started. All right, Gemini, let's start with the Threads of Fate card for you. We have Share Wisdom. So I think there's a lot that you're going to want to share openly. Like maybe this is on some sort of platform that you have. Maybe that's at work. Maybe that's within your family. Maybe that is social media. I mean, there's a lot of ways to communicate now in 2019. So this is just about sharing what you've learned. This could also be just in your community or with the friends that you have. It seems like there's a lot of wisdom that you're going to be able to give to others. So you might find a lot more people coming to you for advice than usual. That's generally, if you've got a lot of wisdom to share, most people are, it's kind of like you have a bullseye on you if you actually have the wisdom to share to others. Okay, and then we have Impermanence. Life is always changing and I drift easy through those changes, good and bad. As I drift through hard times, I can take comfort in knowing I will leave them behind. As I drift away from good times, I can take comfort in knowing that more will come my way. Impermanence is an equal opportunity non-entity. And that's definitely true. It's like there's ebbs and flows to life. Like there's just a current to all of this. So make sure that you're honoring that as it comes up for you. All right, and then we have Story. Weave a fable. Share your heroic journey. Tell yourself a conscious, loving tale. Okay, so this is why the Share Wisdom card has come up as well. You know, this story, how you're framing it is how you're going to share that wisdom. This is also going to be really important to stay on top of your self-talk. I can't emphasize that enough. Really staying away from telling yourself negative stories or stories about how things haven't worked in the past, so that's how it's going to be forever and always in the future. This is a time to challenge that. And same thing with impermanence. Invite better and better and better opportunities your way. Okay, now this spread I did kind of keep a little bit more simple just because I've been recording an outrageous amount of videos right now and doing so many readings. So this is much different than what I normally do. What I want you to do is these three cards right here, just pick one. Very, very adamant about just picking one. That's going to be the central theme and energy for you that you're pulling through into the second half of 2019. So go ahead, you can pause the video if you need more time, but you're just going to tune into one of these three cards. Card number one, we have the Five of Wands. You guys know, unless you're new to my channel, that this is one of my favorite cards in tarot. This is the problem solve, high energy intensity card that allows that friction to propel you forward. So all of the obstacles and the challenges and the wisdom that you're gaining from this experience of having an obstacle is where all of the good stuff lives. That's where all of the insight happens. That's where progress is made. If you had no friction, if you had nothing to overcome, your life would be dull and boring. It simply would. Like you wouldn't have anything to share because you wouldn't have any experience. And so remember to kind of give thanks to the friction and invite ease. Like, it's okay to have that friction or needing to problem solve and also invite things to get easier. So this I'm seeing as a lot of the problems are getting solved in the second half of 2019 for you, but it's going to require you to show up and be willing to make the necessary changes, adjust, act accordingly. And so you do have to show up for this process. It's not something you can passively engage in. You can see each one of these people in here, like everyone is super engaged in this process, even if it looks kind of combative. So that's where you kind of want to keep your mind set over the next 6 months, is that all of the problems are getting solved. Like, you're inviting solutions, and even if there's friction, you're learning from it. Card number 2, we have the 4 of Swords. Don't overthink this imagery. This is the Twin Peaks deck, so there's a lot of weird stuff like this. But the thing is, you're not going to want to crank up the heat too high. So these are total opposite. This is, if you picked card number 1, you need to be super engaged. If you picked card number 2, you need to take your foot off the gas pedal. You actually need to pull your energy back, rest, fill your tank, fill your cup, give to yourself, rest, 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 rest. This is not a good time to push or force. It's just not an energy that's really going to work for you. So the strategy needs to be a little bit more yin. And this is like running really warm. This is running really cool. So for you, I'm just getting that the 4 of Swords is inviting you to relax into the situation or into the solution or whatever it is you have going on. Relax into it, and you know, that's going to be the strategy you're going to want to take forward. This is card number 3. 7 of Wands. So for you, the issues and the friction and perhaps the conflict is in the past. So it seems like the hard stuff is over. Like, you've actually paid your dues with all of that. I think you've experienced all of that friction and you've probably grown out of it. You already have your hero's journey, like that part of that chapter of the book is over and done with. And so now this is about rising above. Like, you've been through the challenges, you've been there, done that, you've had to deal with them, you've seen them through, and now you have the opportunity to move forward. And this is about coming out of the weeds, out of the friction. So things are getting easier and easier and easier. Right, life isn't going to be without ups and downs. Again, we go back to the impermanence card. That's a part of this experience, but I'm getting that you're heading into an easier season, because the 7 of Wands is absolutely about kind of shining through and leaving anything that was toxic, or kind of like plugging your ears, like just not listening to anything external. Now up here, this is what's falling away from your life in the next half of 2019. This is what's oncoming. So what's shifting out is the 6 of Swords. And again, we go back to this idea of impermanence and going through seasons of, well, the water is really rough and choppy, and then, oh, it's super, super glassy and we're heading towards dry land. So I'm getting that maybe you've felt like you've been on a roller coaster ride for the past however long, or you might feel frustrated by the ups and downs. And so this is where drifting just kind of helps you to glide through whatever season you're in, right? Everyone's having a different experience. So for you, it's just about reminding yourself that you are heading towards dry land. Before I speak more to that, let's see what the oncoming energy is. And we have the 8 of Cups. Beautiful. So this is about your strategy in how you deal with the impermanence, how you deal with the inconsistencies and perhaps the struggles or issues that have come about. And I'm getting that you're kind of updating the way you're thinking about it. Let me clarify the 8 of Cups. We have the Chariot Yeah, so knowing that you're making it through, I know that's so cliche to say in a tarot reading, but it's true, right? If your track record for getting through stuff is 100%, then that's pretty good. You can count on that in the future. And so I think what's really changing is how much you're fighting that current, or how much you're battling against the way things are in present time, and being more at peace with the process, with whatever season you're in. If you're doing deep healing work, this is going to be an intense season. If you're working on matters of the heart or relationships, those tend to be more intense seasons. If you're just building something for yourself, maybe you're relaxing into that process, or maybe it's career oriented and you need to relax into the career stage of your life. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different ways, but I'm getting that this is about how much you've been fighting, or like wanting things to be different, or frustrated with current circumstances. That's how you're kind of turning a new leaf and able to get it from a different perspective. So that's where your mutable, cerebral qualities really come in handy, because you do have a lot of potential to think about things differently and kind of innovate your mental processes. Now let's see. Okay, this card is a bit different. So this is what you need to know. But if you have a specific area of life that you want to apply this to, you're more than welcome to. So let's see, we have the Star. This is what I'm saying about everything working out, and it getting smoother, it getting easier, it getting better. Your job is to trust that, which is a real pain sometimes. I completely understand that. But the Star is all about things working out behind the scenes, which is what makes people crazy. It really does make people feel absolutely frustrated, because it's nice to see around every corner. It's nice to see what's coming up. I'm getting that your strategy is what's changing. It's not that the external circumstances are, it's got nothing to do with that. It's all about what your perspective is on it. And then the Star is saying, you know, just be patient and relax into the process. I think that's the main thing that's shining through in this reading, is like you can relax into this and trust wherever you're at, whether you be in the midst of problem solving, whether you need to take your foot off the gas pedal, or whether you're heading into maybe a softer season where you can just kind of do your thing without worrying about what's gone on in the past. So to clarify the Star, I have the 9 of Knives. This is equivalent to the 9 of Swords in a normal deck. And this is fear, and I'm getting fear of past experiences. If you've had one experience where you got burned or something didn't work out, right, your brain is going to want to remind yourself of that negative experience so you don't do anything that could potentially put you in that position ever again. Right, fear is important in that way, just for cause and effect purposes, keeping you on the straight and narrow. So, you know, you can say, okay, thank you, that's nice, but I still think that we need to wait and see rather than jump to conclusions. That's the thing that you want to remember about the 9 of Swords. Jumping to conclusions will not serve you in the second half of 2019. You're really going to need to exercise waiting and seeing, and you're going to need to exercise putting faith in something that is in the unknown, right? Because people like to project negative things into the unknown. What I'm encouraging you to do is what's the best assumption you can make, and then go with that one. Okay, let's go into first, second, third, and fourth quarter. That'll be where you end 2019. These quarters are about 6 weeks, month and a half, because we're doing the second half of 2019. So let's do the first quarter. We have 7 of Pentacles, casting a wide net, and not knowing, not having absolute certainty what's going to stick and what's going to fade away. This is okay. There's really nothing wrong with the 7 of Pentacles. showing up here, just because your strategy is updating. And so because of that, you need to try a whole bunch of different stuff, and you need to make a whole bunch of different attempts or invest in different areas of your life and see what grows. So it's okay if you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, or I don't know where I should be putting my energy. Try a few things out in this first quarter and see what sticks, like what works for you. Where do you want to apply yourself? Quarter 2, we have the Star. You're really starting to see things clear up, or getting the solutions that you need. And that's what this is all a reminder of, is that you have the opportunity to really clear things up. You have this energy that's sitting here with this Star card, is that things are getting better and better. Your job is to hold space for it being an easy process, and for things getting easier as you go. And I am sure there's a lot of things that are not easy that you might be going through, but that's not the point. We're talking about the energetic strategy that you can use to soften the edges of that experience. And the Star is all about, yes, it's working out. It may not look exactly the way you want it to, right? It doesn't mean that the trust piece isn't hard. It's just that things are working out for you, but your job is to see it that way. If you don't see it that way, then I mean, why even bother watching this video? So third quarter, we have the Two of Pentacles. And decision making, as well as I'm getting attraction, is the other piece. It's not just about like pick one and stick to it, but in this, you need to really take your decisions seriously in this third quarter, because it's going to make you a magnet for more of something. Whether that's good or bad, or it's more or less of something that you want, you need to really take that into account with whatever decisions come up in this third quarter. Don't write it off as no big deal. Like, really choose wisely. That magnet is sticking out to me like a sore thumb. So just know that it's like what you say yes to, you're going to get more of. So make your yeses really count for you. You're not going to mess anything up. Just know that your decisions can have a lot more weight for the right reasons. It's not all bad. It's like you can really boost things up in this third quarter if you're saying yes to the right things that are in alignment with you, that just feel good to you and are good decisions for you. You can really make that happen. Fourth quarter wrapping up 2019, Three of Wands. It's like you're just getting started. There's a lot more that's going to happen. 2020 is probably going to be big for you, but the Three of Wands is just like, okay, one step at a time. We're just chipping away at this. There's a lot more growth to do. There's a lot more that we can make happen. And remember, this is how life is. Like, it's just a series of steps and decisions and relationships, and you can take those steps in whatever direction you want. There's no destination here. It's all process. What process do you enjoy? What do you love doing? And figure out how you can really embrace that. All right, let's do a 3-card pick. So this is an oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck, but you're welcome to ask a question, ask for guidance, ask for clarity, maybe something specific, maybe something not. Card number 1. Death of the Deceitful. I'm getting that this has to do with your internal voice or your self-talk, because the deceitful isn't like something that exists outside of you, right? It's like there's truth tellers and liars every day at all times in all different capacities. So it has nothing to do with that. This has to do with what you're telling yourself that is a lie, but you're making yourself believe. And a lot of people fall into this trap. So this is something that I'm getting is shifting out. So the self-talk is improving exponentially for you. And then card number 2, we have the one who hides the sun. So I think you might be dealing with, these two cards are very, very similar to each other, but it's kind of like you might be getting in your own way. So for you, it's kind of like, where are you holding yourself back? What are you telling yourself? Where do you feel like you're limited or you're not gonna make any progress? What actions are you taking that aren't working for you anymore? That's the type of stuff that you're gonna want to take inventory of. Where are you feeling like you're stunted, or where, I mean, there's a million ways that this can manifest. Just keep in mind what you're saying to yourself, the actions that you're taking, or the things that you're not doing are really preventing you from accessing the light or the sun in this card. And that it's like you need to get out of your own way. That's the big thing here. Now, card number 3, we have body as a house. So this is about your body being a container. So if you're trying to manifest something, for example, you need to embody the energy that you want to experience externally. So if you want love, you need to embody love. If you want abundance, you need to embody abundance. If you need, it's all about the embodiment piece. If you have not checked out my podcast, please do that, because I did an episode on embodiment and that might be really helpful. So please check that out. It's in the description box. But I think that might be helpful if you picked this card in particular. So start thinking about things instead of, oh, I wish I had that. Look at how you can embody it in order to make you a magnet for it. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I absolutely appreciate you more than you could possibly know. Don't forget, if you didn't watch all 3 of your sun, moon, and rising, make sure you check out your other videos. And you can check out your Mars and Venus if you're a triple sign, so if you have the same sun, moon, or rising signs. But I also want to let you know, if you are interested in topics about intuition, being psychic, all things esoteric and metaphysical, check out my podcast. It is super, super awesome. I have loved doing it. So please check that out. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Onyx Healing. If you need to work with me one-on-one, you know I'm always available for you. So the description box has all of the links to work with me, as well as my meditations, my podcast, all of that good stuff. And don't forget, if you would like the mid-2019 overview love and relationship reading, those are now out on Patreon, bundled with the July reading. So you get 2 readings in one on those videos if you'd like to check that out. Otherwise, I also do weekly sign-specific readings for Patreon as well every Friday. So all of that good stuff is available to you. Check out the description box for anything that you're interested in, or if you just want some more content. And go ahead and have a beautiful rest of the year, everybody. I am sending you so much support, so much love, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.